Here we are at the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska. College Hoops on Fox is sponsored by the Jeep Grand Cherokee. 17,000 expected inside the CenturyLink Center to watch their 7th-ranked Creighton Blue Jays take on the Marquette Golden Eagles. And hello to everybody. Justin Kutcher alongside Nick Bott. And Nick, sometimes our opens are written for us. The story here is obvious. No Maurice Watson Jr. for the Blue Jays. How do they go from here moving forward?
Well, I think he was the top 5 point guard in the country, so filling that void's a really tall task. I think it's going to be a little bit point guard by committee initially, some experimentation with some different lineups. But I keep an eye on Marcus Foster. He's Creighton's best one-on-one player. And so I think he's a guy that's got to put his foot on the gas and take his game to the next level offensively.
Let's take a look at today's starting lineups brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let's talk about the point guards. For Marquette, they've got a really good young one, the freshman Marcus Howard, the reigning Big East freshman of the week. And for the Blue Jays, without Watson, they will start Isaiah Zierden at point. He was the one who took over for Watson in the victory over Xavier on Monday. These two teams are two of the highest scoring teams, not just in the conference, but in the country. Creighton averaging just under 87 per game. Marquette just under 84. The Blue Jays in white, the Golden Eagles in blue. It's Justin Patton jumping center against Luke Fisher. We're underway and the Blue Jays control the tip.
And Justin in the half court. Almost everything Creighton did involved the ball screen for Maurice Watson and letting him go downhill. Going to be a little different now with Zierden.
The pull-up jumper is off the mark for Justin Patton, the star freshman for these Blue Jays. And here is Marcus Howard. Howard, the Big East freshman of the week, being picked up by Kyrie Thomas. That's a really good matchup to watch in this game.
Kyrie Thomas, Creighton's defensive stopper. I think he's the best defender in the Big East Conference. He's got a tough draw with Howard, though.
A turnover, Huff. Foster pushing, Zierden to the hoop. Has it blocked by Fisher. Here comes Cheatham the other way. Cheatham with the right. Fisher the follow. They're going to need production out of Luke Fisher, not just in this game, but the rest of the Big East season.
And he really anchors them in the interior, and you got great shooters towing the arc. So if you've got an inside presence that collapses the defense, that makes the three-point jump shooting all that much more potent for Marquette.
An unforced turnover by Marcus Foster. Very curious to see how the Blue Jays handle these opening few minutes without their star point guard. Johnson, good pump fake. His jumper, no good. Thomas, the rebound. And you can see the Blue Jays still looking to push the tempo.
That's a part of their identity as a program. I think Kyrie Thomas and Marcus Foster are going to have to be the guys that are more aggressive in transition, secondary break situations, to try and get a piece of the paint. That used to be Maurice Watson. Now it's going to be more Thomas and Foster.
Patton with a takeaway. Up ahead for Foster. Able to chase it down underneath for Huff. Turns it over. And here's Marcus Howard.
Ball security is going to be at a premium for Creighton. With their point guard out, they're going to have to be really sound in their decision-making.
Fisher goes right at the freshman. And Luke Fisher's got 4 points. A pull-up jumper by Foster is good for 3.
You're going to see more of that. It used to be Watson pushing it. It's going to be a lot of pitching the ball ahead when Zierden's at the point guard spot, because you know Foster and Thomas are going to get out and run.
Good position down low by Fisher. Goes back to his right, and Fisher cannot get the roll in and out.
Like that Fisher's in a rhythm and he's aggressive. Patton's a guy that's talented, but he's not very strong, so you can bury him and get deep post position.
Good defense by Fisher against the freshman.
You see his lower body strength. It still isn't quite there. I think Fisher's got a big advantage in that regard.
Fisher will draw the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line. This foul will be against the freshman, Justin Patton. There is Steve Wojciechowski in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Marquette Golden Eagles. His team won 20 games last year. Greg McDermott in his 7th year with the Blue Jays, taking this program to heights it's never been. The highest ranking in history right now at 7th. Substitutions, Justin Patton goes out. Coming in, Toby Hegner. Also in is Davion Mintz, who will get a lot of time now at point guard as he replaces Isaiah Zierden.
It's almost like a dual quarterback system right now, a two-quarterback system where Zierden's going to be more the half-court predicated guy where you run a lot more sets. Mintz a little bit more blessed with speed and quickness, so you're going to look to push the tempo more. Again, Creighton's had 3 days to try to figure out how to play without Maurice Watson, so it's certainly a work in progress.
Underneath a foul. Where is the freshman Davion Mintz as he gets fouled by Marcus Howard?
But think about it, and we talked to Wojo before the game. Think about the other side of it.
Correct.
Wojciechowski trying to prepare for this game. You turn on the film, everything is Watson in a ball screen, Watson in transition. He said he was able to watch every minute that Creighton had played without Watson on the floor, and that's how he tried to kind of devise a defensive game plan.
Substitution for Marquette. Luke Fisher goes to the bench. And there is a look at Maurice Watson Jr. We'll be talking to him after the under-16 timeout, getting his thoughts on the injury, getting his thoughts on his team. So make sure to stay tuned for that as Davion Mintz makes both. And one of the roles now that we'll find out from Watson is he's going to be a mentor. You can see him in practice talking with Mintz and almost coaching him during practice. A step back three in and out for Creighton Reinhardt.
I think it's good that Mintz got to the free throw line, got to knock down 2 shots early. You're getting a rhythm, getting a flow.
Cole off for 3. That's in and out. And a rebound for Howard.
Howard yet to take a field goal. He's been really aggressive. You know, he's going to not be too shy for the whole game.
Hauser. Cheatham, pretty spin move to the hoop, puts it in.
Cheatham left-handed, Justin, and will always spin to try and get back to that left hand. So as a defender, you can't overreact to Cheatham driving right.
Thomas able to handle, he puts it in. Kyrie Thomas, if you remember correctly, last year as a freshman got off that great start and kind of slowed down. He's had another productive start to this year.
His confidence is sky high right now. I think a lot of it is the fact that he's been able to kind of find an identity on the defensive end of the floor. As there you got the switch, and Howard took advantage.
Thomas quickly the other way.
Once again, Justin, that pitch ahead. It used to be Watson. He'd be the one initiating the break. But those wings for Creighton are shot out of a cannon and they're all the way down the floor.
2-point lead for the Blue Jays. Just about 5 minutes into this ball game. Howard for 3. Off the mark. He shoots it over 50%. Mintz pushing. Thomas for 3. Hegner trying to keep it alive. Howard's got it. He pushed it up ahead with a pass. Cheatham up in the air, nowhere to go. Turnover. Foster. Bounce pass. Mintz fouled. And that's going to be number 2 against Howard. And the crowd on its feet here at the CenturyLink Center. Cheatham puts it in, but quickly the other way. Kyrie Thomas with a finish. We'll talk with Maurice Watson when we come back. Hoops is sponsored by Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck for 40 straight years. Back here in Omaha, Nebraska, it is 11-9. Creighton leading Marquette. Maurice Watson Jr. tore his ACL on Monday at Xavier. He is out for the season. Led the NCAA, or still leads the NCAA, with 8.5 assists per game. This was before the game. Coming out onto the floor, clutches, the crowd standing ovation. An emotional moment for him. And then he was still able to lead his team in the pregame cheer. And he is now joining us courtside. And Mo, first of all, thank you for joining us. Just want to talk to you and get your thoughts on what it was like coming out on crutches and seeing the crowd give you the ovation that they did.
It was good. It was probably the it was the one that I was looking forward to the most because I got to be around all the fans. But it was the one I knew would make me break down a little bit, just because part of the reason, main reason why I trained for here was for them. Not really getting a chance to play in front of this many fans ever at Boston was amazing. It's one of the things I'm never going to forget. So happy to get that moment out the way. Happy that the fans can see me kind of smiling and that they see me in good spirits and that it kind of eases theirs a little.
Mo, don't be bashing BU. I'm a fellow BU guy here too. Okay?
I love BU. I love BU. I'm actually a lot of my best friends still go to BU or still live in that BU area, so I think I'm BU for life too.
BU and CU for life. Yeah. That's right. How are you feeling? How's the knee been feeling here, Mo? Just trying to update us here for the last couple of days.
It's been feeling good. I mean, it's going to be this kind of an aching pain that I have right now. Right now, I'm at the point of getting my knee stronger again before surgery. There was obviously some conversation of if I want to do treatment to get a brace and play. Obviously that's something I was considering. But we're gonna go ahead and get this surgery and try to get my knee as strong as I can before that. So my knee's a little sore today. I'm really pushing it to get the swelling down. But I'm accepting that I'm going to be in pain for the next 6 months. So.
Hey, Mo, we were watching you yesterday in practice, and we're watching right now Davion Mintz, the freshman out there with Searden. And I was watching you kind of mentor and coach the freshman yesterday. What do you tell him? What do you see your role being now with this team for the next couple of months?
Just continue to provide the confidence builder. The main reason why I like getting so many assists is because my teammates have confidence and for them to feel like all the work that they put in gets to be exhibited, and that they don't have to do much to try to get that out. And now I'm going to do the same thing from the sidelines. So right now I'm just letting Davion know, you've been playing basketball all your life. You just took a couple of months to get better and to learn from somebody that had been playing for 4 years before you. So now you go out there and we've been preparing for times where I said, I'm not coming back. So you got to accept the fact that I'm not coming back, and you got to get better every day.
Well, right now, one of your teammates, Toby Hegner, went to the ground kind of holding his ankle, and he's getting up gingerly.
Is he good? Yeah, all right. Toby's tough. Toby's second. Toby's tough. He's going to go in there, get some tape, and come back.
That's one thing people talk about you is your toughness and how you came back in that game at Xavier. And even watching the press conference and listening to the press conference with you and Coach McDermott, when you said, I mean, there was no doubt you were coming back in that game.
Because I could walk. I mean, that's a travel. Thank you. I mean, growing up, it was a lot of doubt. A lot of, you're short, you need to find a motivation, somebody to look up to. And I found that at Allen Iverson, and I remember this dude played through 20 injuries at a time. And, I banged my knee 10 times in practice with TC and Z and got up and played. I fell on my wrist. I fell way harder in St. Thomas against NC State, and I didn't do anything serious. So, the type of player I am, I wasn't going back in there, and I don't doubt the fact that I want to go back in there. I don't regret it, because I'm going to do it again in the future, and I can't doubt that that's how I've been going about my life. So I'm going to stick to what I know, and it didn't work out for me this time, but I get a chance to get my knee and my body stronger. So.
Maurice, give us kind of the scouting report on Mintz and Searden. What do they do well as you see Mintz go coast to coast and draw a foul? Looks like he's been watching a little film of you for throughout the season. What does he do well?
Davion's he's a really good defender, which people don't really get to see much. And that's really why he was getting some minutes in the latter part of the year before I got hurt, because he was playing well on defense. And people don't know about him, he's a really good shooter. He's really strong. He's poised when he gets in the paint. And he's really emotional about the game. So when he gets into it and he gets on a roll, it's hard to slow him down. And Isaiah, he's so poised. He's cooler than the fan with a heck of a jumper. So right now I'm trying to get him to find out where to space at the one. I told our team they can zip some passes to Z that they wouldn't necessarily zip to me at that spot. Just so he can get some shots and him not to be afraid to you know, take a couple shots every now and then. Just because we don't won don't mean you stop shooting. So just letting them play their game. I mean, letting them know that their role is time to pick up, and then you know, and then they're going to continue from there.
Justin Patton just picked up his second foul.
Talk about staying down all day. Talk about staying down all day. Because guys are shooters, you know, you have a tendency to get your feet. But that's just that freshman in them. So we're going to get that out of him soon.
Especially being 7 feet tall, he doesn't even leave his feet. He's going to contest, right, Mo?
Hey, but he got that guard mentality. He wasn't always this tall.
You and I know that feeling.
Yeah. I don't need that go skirt.
Yeah. So now he's got 2 fouls. Marcus Howard has 2 fouls. And Creighton Reinhardt hits a 3 to tie this one up at 14. And Mo, before he lets you go, when we want to do this interview with you, one thing you said that I think is really telling is you agreed to do this for a couple of reasons. As Zierden knocks down the 3.
What I tell you?
Your scouting report was accurate.
So I tell Z, if you make a 3, we're gonna take over the game. I tell him all year, every year. If you make 2 threes, we're gonna win this game. So I'm gonna keep telling him that. But
you said you wanted to do this interview because you wanted the fans to know that you're okay. And I think that is so cool because the people here, they love you, and they care about you. But it's not just the people here. What I think is so impressive is that in the year and a half that you've played here with the Blue Jays, you've made a huge impact on the game of college basketball across the country. And people all across the country care about you and want to thank you for what you have done. And so when you said you wanted to ease their spirits, people want to say thank you to you because they love watching you play.
Yeah, and I really appreciate, you know, besides when I came out just now in front of the fans, it was them who stopped me from being down and being sad and all that. But I mean, if you watch our games, you see what these guys do, the type of culture they help us build, and the type of loyalty they show. And I mean, the loyalty they show is going to, it makes me confident about how I'm going to live my life in the future. All I want to do is really have an impact on other kids, whether I make a lot of money playing this game or not. A lot of kids and people to notice me. And over the last couple of days, when I see the support, and people thanking me in only a year and a half, it's crazy. So I appreciate it all. So just thank you guys for the support, and I'll be back better than ever.
Mo, we can't wait to see you back on the floor at the next level, wherever it is. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of this ride, all right?
Thanks, Maurice.
Be good.
Lead for the Blue Jays here in the first half, and time for the Keys to Success, sponsored by SoFi, offering smart solutions to help you reach your financial goals.
Well, for Marquette, the three-point line is going to be really important. They lead the Big East Conference in three-point shooting. The shooter's going to have to toe the arc and knock it down, and they're going to have to defend the three-point line for Creighton. And for Creighton, with Maurice Watson out, got to take care of the basketball. You got guys playing extended minutes in ball handling duties that haven't happened throughout the season, so ball security going to be at a premium.
Ronnie Harrell Jr. is at the free throw line. You know, we talk about Isaiah Zierden, going to see some more time. Davion Mintz going to see more time. Ronnie Harrell Jr. is going to see more time with Maurice Watson out of the lineup.
Yes, he's the one guy that really wasn't in the rotation that is now going to be playing a consistent dose of minutes each night. And the thing you'd have to understand about Ronnie Harrell was he's a guy that grew 7 inches from his freshman to sophomore year in high school. So he's got point guard skills in that 6'7" body. So he can be another playmaker even at the wing spot or at the power forward spot.
Jawan Johnson, kick out, Rousey, corner 3, got it. Andrew Rousey is a shooter, almost 45% from 3. He can light it up. A transfer from UNC Asheville. He had 41 points in the game. Anybody who can put up 41, you got to watch out for.
I love the two-headed monster they got.
Zierden gets fouled on a 3 by Rousey, so Zierden will get 3 free throws.
Never want to foul a three-point jump shooter, obviously. And Zierden, who in all reality, Justin, I think has been a little bit disjointed coming off the bench in terms of finding his offensive flow. This was a guy that led Creighton in scoring last year through the non-conference slate. So he's a capable scorer, and I think now that he's going to be seeing more minutes, you might see a more aggressive Zierden shooting the rock.
Isaiah Zierden, look at the numbers last year versus this year. The minutes per game, those minutes now might start looking more like they were last year than what they have been for the first half of this year.
I don't think there's a player in this roster that Greg McDermott trusts more than Isaiah Zier. And it is really difficult to find a rhythm and find a flow when you're playing in 2-minute, 3-minute spurts. And so now that Zierden's going to be getting some extended minutes, I think his offensive numbers are going to skyrocket.
Rousey knocks down another three.
What a luxury. Marcus Howard, who's been averaging 19 a game in Big East play, goes to the bench, and you bring another scorer in Rousey off the bench, and he's lighting it up.
Another block there by Fisher in the corner. Harrell passes up the three. Foster puts it up to Crumple. And Fisher making himself a presence on the defensive end. Johnson the other way. Crumple with the block. Fisher the follow, puts it in, and Marquette has a 2-point lead.
I think it's important for Marquette to attack in transition because you've seen twice Luke Fisher clean up rotation rebounding opportunities. Crumple had to leave him to come block the shot, and so Fisher's got a free run at the rim to clean up the mix.
Foster has it blocked by Cheatham. Good closeout defense by Hanif Cheatham. The pull-up jumper. Creighton Reinhardt able to knock it down. A 4-point lead now for Marquette. The fans here trying to get behind the Blue Jays. Foster difficult angle, able to put it in.
I think Foster's the guy that has to take his game to the next level with Maurice Watson's injury. He's Creighton's leading scorer, and he's their best shot creator. And so he has to really put his foot on the gas.
Foster averages over 18 a game. And a foul is going to be called against Martin Crumple. Greg McDermott, he thought it should have been a foul against Fisher. Thought he got an elbow up around the face. And McDermott is speaking with the officials, Michael Stevens and Jeffrey Anderson right now, and he wants them to go to the monitor and take a peek.
Take another look at it as Crumple's working to the baseline. Looked like there might have been contact. Certainly looked inadvertent, and it was not excessive or unnecessary. But anytime there is contact, that F word could be coming out flagrant.
Oh, it's the other F word.
It's the other F word, yes. As Fisher's done a good job of posting, take a look at it.
Yeah,
As there is contact made, and that's just, that's sometimes it's just the nature of the sport. I mean, you're fighting for post position. The guy is working for post position himself, and sometimes there's going to be contact that occurs. So take a look at it. As Crumple's head definitely snapped back, but the problem is players now do that all the time. So there's a little bit of a boy who cried wolf situation going on in basketball where guys are always snapping their head back, trying to sell fouls. So it's tough to distinguish when there was contact, when there wasn't contact.
Michael Stevens speaking with Coach McDermott right now, explaining the reason why it's going to be a foul called against Crumple and not against Fisher.
I'm good with that.
I am too.
I'm good with that. I mean, you got two guys wrestling for post position. Elbows happen. Contact happens.
Reinhardt turns it over. Mintz with a steal. Mintz going 1-on-2. Davion Mintz really aggressive. Going to the hoop.
I think he's gotten off to a fantastic start. He's gotten to the free throw line. This is going to be his 7th and 8th free throw attempt. They call it on the ground. I beg your pardon. But I think he's done a good job of being aggressive.
The fans thought it was going to be a two-shot foul as well. The foul was called against Towson. Toby Heckner's back in. We saw him leave the game, and of course, Maurice Watson said, no, he'll be fine. He'll go back to the locker room, get it taped up, and he was right. Thomas lost it. There's a turnover. He said that's going to be something to look out for.
Guys just maybe trying to do a little too much. Watson's absence. This is the guy that I think is the X factor for Marquette. Creighton Reinhardt, really good playmaker, good passer. He's a 1,000-point scorer, the USC transfer. I think he's the guy that is really important for Marquette.
Rousey got Thomas up in the air. Gary Thomas picks up his first.
Take a look at little step back into a little shot fake. So step back, create some space. Almost looks like he went to Chris Jenkins' shot fake camp there. That's what it looked like. And if you're Steve Wojciechowski, you got to be thrilled about having your top gun, Marcus Howard, is saddled with 2 personal fouls, and you've not only been able to survive, you've been able to thrive, build a lead, and Rousey has been tremendous.
Dwayne Wilson will come in now for Creighton Reinhardt. How about Rousey? As Reinhardt will talk with Wojciechowski. Andrew Rousey is now 30 of 32 at the free throw line on the season. This is a team that shoots over 80% from the free throw line. They're 3rd in the country at the free throw line.
And what's surprising is usually that stat manifests itself into winning close games. And Marquette has struggled in close games.
And step back jumper. Off the offensive rebound. Underneath, not in good position, gets the board again. On the floor, and it's picked up by Wilson. 5-point lead for the Golden Eagles.
The hedge man's going to have to do it against Rousey. Stay a little longer, be there until he gives it up.
A traveling violation against Jawan Johnson.
Something that's interesting that Steve Wojciechowski talked about is not being able to sustain defense for his team. But it's been in the first half where defense has been solid because it's been playing defense in front of their bench. So the assistant coaches can bark out pet plays and tell them a screen's coming. A little bit of inside baseball there that's pretty cool.
Misses the jump of the rebound by Johnson. Rousey's got 11 points, pushing. Johnson left open for 3. He knocks it down. And a timeout will be taken by Greg McDermott and the Blue Jays. A 13-2 run by the Golden Eagles. And Marquette now leads by 8 here in Omaha.
Welcome back to Fox College Hoops. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to later in the game.
Reinhardt picked up by Davion Nix. Howard out of bounds. Turnover.
A viable option for Marquette is always feeding the big boy on the interior, and Luke Fisher. That's where the ball's got to go until Creighton's going to be coming with a double team, which I don't anticipate them doing all afternoon.
Blue Jays can tie with a 3. Foster doesn't get the roll.
But you can sense Foster's in a rhythm now. Started with the post up, made a great play. And he's feeling good. Hasn't shot it well in Big East play.
Being pounded by Thomas. Cheatham. Traveling violation. He tried that pivot foot. The crowd had called for it about 2 seconds earlier. By the way, this place...
Rocking, right?
Oh my gosh. One of the best venues for college basketball. It is always packed. They average 17,305 per game, 4th best in the country. Foster turns the corner, puts it in, soft touch. Foster with 13 here in the first half. Back to a 1-point game. Reinhardt gets the switch, step back for 3. Big shot again by Creighton Reinhardt. He's got 10 here in the first half. And now a steal. Reinhardt with the finish, now with 12.
I like him at the 4 in this game because I don't think Huff or Hegner at the 4 spot can guard Reinhardt. He's more of a glorified guard, and so he's a matchup problem for Creighton right now.
Foster Foster, high pass, Huff able to get it. Thomas for three. The rebound by Cheatham. Howard directing traffic. A weave action. Reinhardt against Hegner. Reinhardt all the way to the hook. Creighton Reinhardt is feeling it. You talk about those mismatches.
And they run the little weave set to get the switch on the ball screen and let Reinhardt go to work. Good job from Steve Wojciechowski.
Off the step back. Difficult shot. Hegner keeping it alive. Trying to save it. And he does. Off of Cheatham will be Creighton ball. Will come back by Hegner. He's hobbling as he gets off the floor. Marquette is 45-37 here in the first half. 37 Marquette leading Creighton here late in the first half. And Nick, you talked about Creighton Reinhardt being a mismatch nightmare for the Blue Jays.
Well, he's got 14 points, and he's a versatile forward that can do things off the bounce. So they go with the little dribble weave action, and all they want to do is get this mismatch with Hegner switched out onto Reinhardt. Because then you just make it simple. You drag him out away from the basket. It's a 1-4 ISO. Great change of pace and gets all the way to the basket. Good job from Steve Wojciechowski to recognize the hot hand and the mismatch and to take advantage of it.
And you talk about him playing the four. Reinhardt's been a two-guard his whole career.
That's why I think he's the X factor for Marquette, because he's a versatile forward that can play a little bit on the wing, can play on the at the four spot. And so he's a tough matchup for some of these little bit slower-footed power forwards in the league.
Burrell is back in with Zierden for the Blue Jays. Hegner, deep three. Howard goes up for the rebound.
Been just a really impressive half offensively for Marquette.
64% from the floor. Reinhardt for three. He's feeling it. Creighton Reinhardt has 17 here in the first half.
How about the bench for Marquette? You bring Rousey off the bench. He's in double figures. Reinhardt's feeling it.
Foster step back, no. The run out for Wilson, up ahead, Reinhardt. I thought he was pulling up for three. Howard will take the three instead, well off the mark.
Got to be Foster time, doesn't it? You want to get it to your playmaker. Try and get something at the basket. There's that post up.
Gets doubled. Burrell, he gets fouled, able to get Reinhardt up in the air.
But you see how much that just calms Creighton down, and they've gotten good things out of the post-ups with Marcus Foster. But that young man right there, Creighton Reinhardt, is feeling it. 17 points in a 10-0 run all by himself.
At the free throw line is Ronnie Harrell Jr. as Reinhardt picked up the foul. His first, the team's ninth. And Harrell cannot hit the front end of the one-on-one. An 11-point lead for Marquette.
Steve Wojciechowski wants to ride the hot hand. Got a better matchup in Harrell on Creighton Reinhardt right now, but he's feeling it.
Juwan Johnson. Look at him. Just comes to that jump stop, puts it off the glass. 13-point lead. Largest deficit of the season for the Blue Jays. We asked the question, how would they respond without Maurice Watson Jr.? Zierden for three. Knocks down his second. Well, Watson said if he knocks down two, they're going to win. That's his second. They now trail by 10, and a timeout taken here by Steve Wojciechowski. Stone, Steve Lavin, Casey Jacobson here in Omaha. Greg McDermott, his club playing for the first time without Maurice Watson Jr. They trail by 10 to Marquette. And Marquette has been shooting the lights out here in the first half. The Blue Jays have not. Just around 33% for the game. Johnson's jumper off the back rim. Zierden gets the rebound. And now Creighton can hold for the final shot. And it's Marcus Foster, who's got 13 points in the first half with the ball.
This is obviously typically a spot that Maurice Watson to be the trigger man, but now it's Foster.
Now it's Foster against Fisher. Mismatch. Foster pulls up for three. Rebound chased down, out of bounds. It's going to be off of Harrell. Marquette ball with 4.6. Not sure that's the shot that Greg McDermott wanted.
I don't know if he minds the shot as much as taking it too early, because now you got 4.6 seconds. The rule of thumb is you got a dribble per second here, so you can get really a long ways down the floor.
Reinhardt puts it up, and that's an air ball. But Creighton Reinhardt, 17 points in the first half off the bench. And Marquette with a 10-point lead at the half over the 7th-ranked team in the country, the Creighton Blue Jays. 50-40, Marquette leading. We'll send it to Rob Stone, Steve Lavin, Casey Jacobson for the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report right after this. Fox is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee, back here in Omaha at the CenturyLink Center. Maurice Watson on crutches. People still want to take pictures with him. His team trails by 10 at the half. Nick Baugh, Justin Kutcher back with you. And no Maurice Watson. Creighton gave up 50 points. Your take on the first half without Watson?
Well, I think both teams, Marquette and Creighton, are built offensively. They want to score the basketball, and I just felt like in the first half, Marquette operated better in the half court. Creighton really did. Creighton got to the free throw line 15 times. That was kind of their best source of offense. But you're going to have to do a better job of getting some cleaner looks in transition if you're Creighton.
All right, let's take a look at the first half stats. Sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. You mentioned those free throws. Those were key for the Blue Jays. 13 points of their 40 came at the free throw line. 61% from the floor for Marquette and 30 bench points.
The bench was the difference in the game. And Creighton Reinhardt and Andrew Rousey came in and gave a big punch, lighten up the scoreboard. Creighton Reinhardt did a good job of exploiting mismatches because he's a versatile power forward who can step out. See him knock down the three over Hegner there, getting his hand in the passing lane. And then Rousey, really dynamic with the ball in his hands. Little one dribble pull-up jump shot. He's tough off on-ball screens, and then he can just catch and shoot. So he can score in a variety of ways, and both those guys did a great job. And then Marcus Foster, I felt like he was the guy that had to elevate his game. And he did a good job in that first half. 13 points, did a good job getting downhill, getting to all the way to the rim. And he's going to have a big second stanza if Creighton wants to win this game.
And the stat of the game sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. This really says it all. The Blue Jays shoot 53% from the floor for the season. The first half, they shot 32%. Marquette will start with the ball. Hauser on the floor with Howard, Cheatham, Fisher, and Jawan Johnson. The starting five for Marquette. The starting five for Creighton as well. Fisher underneath to Hauser, cutting wide open.
With Patton in foul trouble, only played 4 minutes, got 2 personal fouls. Having to come with a double team, and Creighton doesn't rotate out of it accordingly. I like a steady diet of Fisher on the block right now.
Thomas trying to find Justin Patton, and that's the first turnover here in the second half.
And you see the double team comes late. No one's able to get in front of the rim. So watch Hauser as he's going to get right in the middle of the floor. No one there, and he gets an easy one. Good find from Luke Fisher.
12-point lead for Marquette. Johnson trying to make it a 15-point lead. 3 white jerseys go for the rebound. It's Searden up ahead for Thomas.
Got to find a way to get Patton involved offensively. Whether it's lobs to the rim, post-ups, he's got to get going.
Like that?
That'll do. Those empty side pick and rolls, Justin, are just really tough to guard. So there's going to be no one in the corner. So Patton's all by himself. So the secondary defender, Hauser, has to come over. He's not there in time. Good catch and finish from Patton. And he's got to put his fingerprints on this thing, scoring the ball.
Just a 48% free throw shooter converts the three-point play. That foul was against Hauser, his third. So he'll go to the bench right now in the opening minute of the second half. And you might say, well, that's too bad. But look who they bring off the bench. Creighton Reinhardt, who had 17 in the first half. And oh, by the way, he went on a personal 10-0 run in that first half.
I like like about Marquette is nobody's shot hunt, though. They're taking high percentage shots.
Fisher got Patton up in the air, got it in the foul, and that's number 3 against the freshman Justin Patton.
And 2 of his fouls have been leaving his feet on shot fakes. That's how he's got his second one, and here, his third one. Great job by Fisher. Using the little head and shoulder fake, Patton leaves his feet ever so slightly, jumps into him, 3 the hard way, and Patton knew it right away. But if you're Justin Patton there, when you get caught in the air like that, and you know you're going to foul, there are no three-point plays. You've got to absolutely hammer Fisher, make sure that ball doesn't get in the rim, make sure that third foul counts.
Agreed. And now the freshman will go to the bench. Toby Heckner comes in. And you wonder, in a 54-43 game, how long can Greg McDermott keep his 7-foot freshman center on the bench?
And I think one of the ways to keep him out of foul situations is Creighton has a 1-3-1 zone in their back pocket. And that's something I think could be used a little bit if you're Creighton. Keep an eye out for that.
A block by Fisher against Foster. That's the 6th block of the game for Luke Fisher. Reinhardt splits the double team, but we've got a traveling violation call.
Fisher doing a good job of rotating off his man, contesting shots at the rim. He's just got a different level of energy about him. I think it started with some post touches early.
Off the corner 3, knocks it down. The first points of the ball game for Cole Huff, who averages 9 a game. .46. Howard's been quiet. Was on the bench for much of the first half with 2 fouls. Johnson, step back for 3. Got it. Jawan Johnson, his second 3 of the game. He's got 8.
Where it's tough, you play percentages as a coach, and you go under ball screens because he's shooting 30% from the 3-point line, and Johnson makes you pay. Beautiful job from Jawan Johnson.
Foster step back for 3. Difficult shot, rebound for Cheatham.
That's where as Foster, you got to be more aggressive offensively, but that's a bad shot whether Maurice Watson's playing or not.
Reinhardt gets the rebound. Kick out. Johnson for 3 again. Got it again. Marquette leading by 14 on the road against number 7 Creighton. Huff for 3. Rebound for Johnson. Johnson. Gotta be a timeout, right?
Greg McDermott doesn't like to call him usually, but he's pointing at one, and you've got to take one as Marquette is rolling in Omaha.
An 8-0 run by the Golden Eagles of Marquette, and they lead 62-46. Jawan Johnson, the assist by Reinhardt, knocks down the 3. The Golden Eagles looking good. Mintz is in the game out of the timeout, and Mintz is going to draw the foul against Luke Fisher. That's his first. And that is Marquette's second foul here in the second half.
Well, if you're Creighton right now, you got plenty of time. No need to hit the panic button. But I do think you maybe got to go to plan B defensively, whether that's a zone, just giving Marquette a different look.
Foster to the hoop. Marcus Foster now with 15 points. And this crowd is trying to get their team back into it, trying to cheer, trying to give them a boost. Johnson for Fisher, and he gets fouled by Huff.
I've just been so impressed with the execution from Marquette. Sure, they've had individual guys step up and make shots, but the picks, the rolls, the cuts, the reads, there's been an offensive clinic here so far for Wojo's group.
Fisher 5 of 6 from the floor. This is the free throw.
But you
Rousey has checked back in, replacing Marcus Howard. Rousey does have 3 fouls that he picked up in the first half.
you can see the difference in Marquette when Fisher's active and involved. It just changes their group. Gives them a presence right in the paint, right at the rim. Makes them even tougher to deal with.
Mintz, the freshman point guard, off the bench. Again, the switch against Fisher, going right at him. And this is what's impressive to me with Davion Mintz as a freshman. He sees that he's got a mismatch, and he pushes it and able to draw the foul. Leading here in the second half. We talked about the guys off the bench in the first half for the Golden Eagles. In the second half, it's been Juwan Johnson.
And Juwan Johnson, 8 points in the second half here. There, go under a ball screen, makes him pay. Good play from Creighton Reinhardt. Juwan Johnson has his feet set, and this is where he's a handful. When he's got a head of steam in transition, good little step through, tough shot. So 8 of his 13 in the second half. Kind of sparking Marquette here to extend the lead to start this second 20 minutes.
Here's what's impressive to me right now about Marquette. 4 players in double figures. Not one of those guys is named Marcus Howard.
Yeah, Marcus Howard's been the man scoring the ball in Big East play. So it just shows you that they're far from a one-dimensional team, and it shows you just how good they are offensively. I think they're probably one of the most underrated offensive groups, definitely in the conference, maybe in the country. Their offensive numbers are really impressive.
Mintz, offensive foul, kind of lost the dribble, held up on his hip, and pushed off against Fisher. That is the 3rd team foul against the Blue Jays. Huff will go to the bench. Justin Patton has just checked back in with 3.
You see right now they're switching ball screens and they're forcing Mintz's hand to make plays. And so now Creighton, we thought we'd maybe see this a little 1-3-1. Kyrie Thomas long and active on top of it. Got to do something to get Marquette out of their rhythm.
Johnson in the corner to Reinhardt. Shot clock at 10. Johnson underneath. Patton with the steal. Thomas trying to save it. He does to Mintz, who puts it up and in.
What a catch from Kyrie Thomas.
Rousey, Johnson, travel. 2 turnovers on 2 possessions in the 1-3-1.
Well, Patton did a good job of disrupting things right at the basket, gets his hand on it, and starts with the great outlet pass, but it was a better catch. And Thomas finds Mintz for the easy one. And the 1-3-1 has kind of sparked Creighton.
Foster for 3. And now Patton gets held by Fisher. That's number 3 against Fisher. And the 4th team foul here in the second half. We were just talking in between breaks about can the defense kind of give a jump start to the offense if they go 1-3-1. It's happened. And now Fisher goes to the bench. Matt Help comes in. Hauser's coming back in, replacing Juwan Johnson from Marquette.
You got Hauser as a zone buster, a good shooter, but I can tell you as a player, going against a 1-3-1 is the most awkward zone to go against.
Foster, look at that, just using his strength. And this place has woken up 18,145.
The problem is, too, is Rousey doesn't have great size on top to be able to make these wing-to-wing passes, and Thomas is doing a great job on top of the 1-3-1.
A 6'10" wingspan. Cheatham got fouled and puts it in. And that foul is against Marcus Foster. That's the first against Foster, and the team's 4th. And now coming back in is Marcus Howard, replacing Andrew Rousey.
What a good job by Cheatham to flash right to the middle of the zone. And that's a big shot. As this crowd was really getting into it, there was a run taking place from Creighton, and Cheatham with a big basket.
Converts the 3-point play, 66-52, 14-17 to go. The Blue Jays 18-1 on the season. Best start in school history. Marquette 12-6, 3-3 in Big East play. Foster trying to take over the game offensively for the Blue Jays.
And I love that Greg McDermott didn't get scooped out of the 1-3-1. You scored in it one time. So many coaches freak out and get out of the zone.
Skip pass, corner, Howard, three, no. Hegner the rebound. Up ahead, Foster gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line for two.
As you see the defense sparking the offense once again. As Creighton, that looked like the Maurice Watson-led fast break there. Shot out of a cannon. Bunch of white jerseys screaming down the floor.
Foster with 19 points, over his season average of 18.1 per game. He's a 72.5% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first, 2 for 2 at the line. His 8th 20-point game of the season.
I think right now, if you're Marquette, what I'd try to do is screen Kyrie Thomas to get him off the ball handler so you can punch those gaps right at the elbow.
They've got three-point shooters on the perimeter. Reinhardt splits it. Hauser, the corner three. Got it. You said a zone buster.
Good play by Reinhardt. You gotta be able to attack that elbow area, collapse the defense, and Hauser doing what he does best.
Thomas. Mintz. Back to Thomas. Patton there for the dunk off the feed from Kyrie Thomas.
Amazing how this zone has sparked some offensive rhythm for Creighton. And now Creighton goes back man-to-man.
Just switch up the defense. Try to change things up. Give different looks.
You can't give a great offense the same look for 40 minutes, or they'll pick you apart.
Cheatham. And Cheatham got fouled. He'll go to the free throw line, and Cheatham on the ground, holding his lower back. The foul was called on Mintz, his third.
An attack in this zone, you got to punch that elbow area. Got to drive and attract the defense. Good job by Reinhardt. And it's not inviting because there are a bunch of white jerseys and there's a 7-footer there. But you have to be confident in your playmaking ability and your strength to take it into that gap and make plays.
Isaiah Zierden will come in, replacing Kyrie Thomas. So now he'll play the 2 guard with Mintz playing the point. You would think.
Need Zierden's shot making right now. And how about Cheatham? Nothing stunts a run quite like going to the free throw line. And he's done it twice. And now, a little taste of your own medicine, huh? Wojo said, I like this 1-3-1 thing. I think we'll give it a try.
Well, you had said it yesterday during practice that this Marquette team almost mirrors the Creighton Blue Jays team. Foster into the corner. Hegner for 3. Got it. He's the other zone buster.
Must be a Wisconsin thing. Hauser and Hegner. But a good job by Mintz. He hit the gap, and it created the opportunity.
Watch. Got to be careful here. Patton's got 3. Fisher's got 3. And Fisher goes right at the freshman.
Good pace from Fisher. Just reading and reacting. Hegner couldn't help off a Hauser. Goes with the left-hand jump hook.
Foster offline. Patton is going to get called for his 4th foul, going for that offensive rebound. With 11:44 to go, that's his 4th. Hegner hits the 3. It's a 13-point lead for Marquette. Half, let's go inside the huddle with Steve Wojciechowski.
Helping each other enough on the defensive end. The urgency is not there on the defensive end.
Come on, guys.
That's where the game's going to be won. Look, we're going to break through. We are going to break through. It's got to start.
When he talks about breaking through, he's talking about getting over that hump of sustaining 40 minutes of defense. Steve Wojciechowski talked to us about that before the game. And Marquette's a team that has relinquished big leads. They were up 16 at Butler and ultimately lost the game. And even against Seton Hall at home, up 10 and ended up having to go to overtime and won the game. But here, it's going to be that defensive energy that's going to propel Marquette to victory here in this second half.
Justin Patton is on the bench with 4 fouls for the Blue Jays. Picked up his 4th. Before the break, Reinhardt. Fisher, the jumper. That goes in. How about Marquette? They are 9 for 12 in the second half. I'm not great at math. That's 75%.
They've just been really, really efficient. And Reinhardt's got 5 assists. And he is doing a good job of creating opportunities for his teammates. That was a great play to Fisher.
Mintz, his pull-up jumper is good. Davion Mintz has 11 points off the bench for the Blue Jays.
Been impressed. I mean, I know that the score isn't what Greg McDermott wants, but I think he has to like what he's seen from Mintz.
Reinhardt, his first points of the second half. He's got 20 in the game. That's a season high and a turnover here for the Blue Jays. And look, there's still plenty of time, right? 10.5 minutes to go. But you got to look at the situation right now for Creighton. And if you're looking at what it is, first game without Maurice Watson. They have the rest of the year without Watson. He's not coming back. So you have to figure out what do you have. You've got to figure out what you have in this freshman Davion Mintz. And if you can see him coming back in this first game and he's got 11, maybe you found, hey, he's going to be okay. Mintz for 3. Got it. 14 for Mintz.
He's a score-first point guard. That's what he does best. He's having to learn how to run a team. And so he's going to have to kind of expand on that side of his game. But the offense has been there here so far. The offense has been outstanding for Marquette.
Hauser knocks down the 3. 83 points for Marquette with 9.5 minutes to go.
Unbelievable.
Egner transition 3. Back rims it. Hauser, I believe, is going to be called for the hold. That's exactly it. That's number 4 against Hauser.
Well, you see Luke Fisher's roll to the basket is going to attract Huff. So see in the middle of the paint there, Huff had to help on the roll ever so slightly. That gives Hauser enough time to tee up a 3. So Goodhart cuts to the basket, manufactures shots on the perimeter. But that's why Marquette's shooting at a high clip. They're executing their stuff at a high level, and they're getting high percentage shots. And when you get high percentage looks, they go in. Big shot at a high percentage when you got offensive talent.
A foul away from the ball. This will go against Jawan Johnson. That will be the 17th foul for Marquette. So 1-1. And shooting free throws now will be Kyrie Thomas. Thomas on the season, 81% free throw shooter. The free throws were kind to the Blue Jays in the first half. They were 13 of 15 in the first half.
And now that Creighton's into the bonus, it's a good place to get to. Stops the clock. You're able to put points on the board. It takes Marquette, have it out of rhythm.
Blue Jays applying some pressure. Howard breaking it with the left hand. Nobody stopped ball. And now the other way. Thomas attacking the hoop. Harrell there to follow and put it in. Well, the problem is you can't trade baskets right now if you're Creighton. You've got to get a stop.
And Creighton's also not a team that is built to full court press and turn you over. So this is a little bit out of character, and I think it shows kind of the desperation of the situation, trying to figure out something to change the complexion of this game.
They face their biggest deficit of the season in this game. Reinhardt for 3. Helt able to keep it alive. Johnson, his finger roll.
play from Matt Held. Hasn't done much today, but that's stealing a second opportunity that results in a basket.
Thomas, the pull-up jumper, no. Rebound for Howard. And Howard says, hey, let's slow things down. We've got ourselves a big lead. 8:20 to go. No reason to push the tempo now.
Hard to believe that Howard's only 17 years old. That's pretty scary.
Coming off a career-high 26 points at Butler on Monday. Johnson, the corner three. Zierden with a rebound, the push ahead. Foster. Marcus Foster, 22 on the day.
Well, the kick ahead and transition looks have been there for Creighton in spurts, and now back to some 1-3-1 zone for the Blue Jays.
Wilson not want to look for a shot from the outside. The quick pass to the corner by Reinhardt. Shot clock down to 9. Howard for 3. Got it. Marcus Howard, who shoots it from deep at over 50%, knocks it down. Now a turnover. Wilson will pull it back out. Wojo saying, hey, take time, take time.
Well, this has been quite an offensive display from Marquette. And it's been from a variety of guys.
66% from the floor. Reinhardt. A turnover here by Marquette. One of the few mistakes that Marquette has made in this game. Marcus Howard has been quiet, but his teammates have picked him up. They lead by 19. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Edward Jones, where attention and sound advice is a big deal. 90-71, Marquette leading Creighton, and Luke Fisher is having his best Big East game of the season.
How about the presence on the defensive end? He's got 6 blocks, and he's done a good job of erasing some shots right at the basket for the Blue Jays, and that's certainly going to take away from their aggression. But he's 8 of 9 from the floor. He's played with great confidence, great pace, and Marquette has done a good job of getting him the ball early and often. Great game for Mr. Fisher.
He got off to a good start, has kept it going throughout, and again, it's the guys that maybe you wouldn't expect. You were thinking it was going to be Howard, who's been so good in Big East play. He got into early foul trouble. And other guys have stepped up. Reinhardt off the bench, Rousey off the bench. And Fisher, who's been quiet in the Big East, has had himself a good game.
I've just loved Creighton Reinhardt today. I think he's been awesome. 20.7 assists. He's just been money for the Golden Eagles.
Jawan Johnson to the hoop, a foul, and is this going to go against Mintz? It is, and that's number 4 against Davion Mintz. You know, we talked about Maurice Watson Jr. not being available because he's out with a torn ACL, so other guys had to step up. Kyrie Thomas, Cole Huff, Justin Patton. Those 3 players are well below their season averages. Justin Patton has been plagued by foul trouble throughout this game.
Well, and Maurice Watson does a good job of spoon-feeding Cole Huff threes, getting Patton lobs to the basket. Even Kyrie Thomas, some easy shots off of basket cuts. So you're learning to play without Maurice Watson. And it's a work in progress, but those 3 guys have struggled here this afternoon.
Mintz. Zierden knocks down the 3. With just about 6 minutes to go. This Blue Jays team is going to need stops defensively and some more threes offensively.
It was going to be a lot of pressure on Zierden and Mintz, and those 2 guys have scored well. It's just been this end of the floor that has been the issue for Creighton, as Marquette has just shred the Blue Jays offensively.
Howard all the way to the hoop.
Well, he's going to be a star. I mean, he's already a star. Only 17 years old. He may be young, but his game is all grown up.
Too much dribbling outside by Patton. Well, maybe not.
There are times he has a lot of those no, yes moments as he tries to put the ball on the deck a little bit away from the basket. That one worked out, but oftentimes that's not his strength.
His strength, without a doubt, is dunking. Came into this game with 47 dunks on the year. Fisher, nice feed for Cheatham, who blows the reverse. 5 minutes to go. 15-point lead for Marquette. Zierden, kick out. Patton for three. In and out. Cheatham with a rebound. And Howard wisely walks this one up the floor.
It's that time of the game where you don't want to play not to lose, but you got to pick and choose your opportunities to push it and when to walk it up the floor and run some half-court up.
Fisher, bounce pass on the floor. Fisher's there, calling a timeout. He gets it with 7 on the shot clock. (93-78). Marquette leading with under 4.5 to go. Summary. Creighton Reinhardt, a season-high 20 points, but the shooting has been the story for Marquette today. 65% from the floor.
I think that guy is a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the season in the Big East Conference. I know he comes off the bench, but that's a guy that scored 1,000 points. He knows how to play. He's a capable scorer, so he's got 20, but he also has 7 assists. And his versatility, being able to play the 4 and the 3, is a really, really good luxury to have for Steve Wojciechowski.
Reinhardt will inbound for Marquette.
We'll see if Creighton's got one last surge in him here.
Cheatham had to put the shot up with 1 on the shot clock. Thomas. Foster will turn around. No, Fisher with a rebound. That's rebound number 8 for Luke Fisher. He's got 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 3 assists. The preseason second team All-Big East has been quiet in the Big East game so far. By far and away his best conference game this year.
It was important to get Patton in foul trouble early in the game to get that 7-footer off the floor.
Reinhardt's 3. Off the mark, Mintz. Up ahead for Patton. Look at him make that catch, the finger roll. And that's what has scouts kind of drooling over this kid.
Justin, I know it's only a 13-point game, but Patton makes about 1 or 2 plays a game that are jaw-dropping. That is a 7-footer running the floor, catching it, turning, and having the touch and the awareness to get it up off the rim softly. That's next level, my friend.
That's a Greek freak type of move.
That is. I like where you went with that.
Foster lost his contact. See, I can never do that without a mirror.
I can't touch I can't even put eye drops in without having to take about 10 minutes to get myself mentally ready.
Who are you, Rachel Green from Friends?
I am a little bit, maybe, in that regard. But I can't relate to that, my man. We'll see if this free throw goes in. Cut it to 12. Maybe slap some full court pressure on. And again, Marquette's a team that had a double-digit lead at home to Seton Hall. Let it slip away. Ended up having to go to overtime. So Creighton's got to have a little bit of a surge here if they want to try and get back in.
Free throw is in and out. It's a 13-point game, under 3.5 to go. Justin Kutcher alongside Nick Baugh here on Fox from Omaha, Nebraska. Howard trying to look down low for Fisher. Goes up top. Shot clock at 9. Johnson. Patton almost picked up number 5 right there. Shot clock at 4 and a foul against Foster with 4 on the shot clock.
What a backbreaker. You do a good job all possession. Just let him off the hook with a silly cheap foul.
Johnson shooting 1-on-1 here. 1 of of 2 at the line. That's short. And the rebound by Foster. Foster has it stripped from behind, but it's off of Foster's leg, and it's going to be Marquette basketball.
And the official was extremely sure of it. Take another look at it. Yeah, looked like the right call.
Cheatham, short, gets his own miss, puts it up. No, out of bounds. This time it's going to be Creighton basketball.
Well, that's what Creighton's going to have to do. They're going to have to start doubling the ball handler, just force Marquette's hand a little bit.
You just saw Wojo trying to get his team going. What you say before about the defensive lapses when it's on the other end, not by the coaching staff. There's a defensive lapse. And a foul against Thomas. That's the 19th foul, so 1-1.
Creighton's a team that has rarely full-court press throughout the season. Quite frankly, they've been playing with a lead the majority of the season when you're 18-1. So this is somewhat uncharted territory for Creighton, having to dig out of a hole really the entire game.
Howard has been so good at the free throw line this year. He is now 36 of 38 at the line. Juwan Johnson goes out. Hauser comes in. What's amazing about Marcus Howard is that his brother Jordan, who's a junior at Central Arkansas, is shooting 93.1%.
Incredible. And
that's like Nick Baugh territory.
94, that's some rare air up there. You can close out games when you are knocking down free throws. You look at that, 3rd in the country, 80% as a team. Impressive.
Zierden left open for 3. Got it. And a timeout taken here by the Blue Jays. 10-point game, 2:22 to go. Do the Blue Jays, ranked number 7 in the country, have a run left in them? 85, Marquette leading with 2:22 to go. The Blue Jays pick up full court. And if you're Marquette and you don't get points on this trip down, you got to be thinking, oh no, here we go again. They had a 41-25 lead at the half on the road at Butler on Monday and lost by 8. They've had big leads and given them up, and now Hauser gets fouled. And that is the 10th team foul. So double bonus now. Hauser will get 2 free throws.
And, you know, there's 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. There's an eternity left, but this is important for Creighton's psyche, as they were getting popped pretty good, and this thing could have really spiraled to a 25, 30-point win if Creighton would have hung their head. But you make it respectable. You continue to fight. It's important in this post-Maurice Watson world that Creighton's living in to maintain some semblance of confidence, even in the midst of a loss.
Huff will come back in. Thomas will go to the bench. Now Juwan Johnson will come back in. And Fisher will go to the bench for Marquette. Offense, defense, defense, offense, substitutions with 2:13 to go.
Well, if you're Marquette, you can switch every screen right now. You've got a really small lineup.
Foster against Cheatham. Zierden. Get the pivot foot down. Patton doesn't finish underneath. The rebound to Johnson, the foul by Huff. You don't want to say that could do it, but the free throws on one end, the empty chip on the other, you're under 2. It's now 12, could make it 14 points.
On a 70% field goal shooter, Justin Patton just missed a point-blank layup. Now you illustrate it. Now you get 2 the other way, 4-point swing. That might be enough to end this thing.
Maurice Watson Jr. watching his first game from the bench. This is a guy who had started every game he had ever played for the Blue Jays, 54 games.
And listen, a lot will be made of today that Creighton didn't have Maurice Watson, but we got to tip our cap to Marquette.
Absolutely.
Marquette was awesome today, especially offensively. To come into this environment, sold-out arena, and play the way they did is really, really impressive.
Marcus Foster now at 28, but for Marquette, 6 players in double figures.
And really, Howard's been carrying the load, and he's been quiet today.
Cheatham. Fouled by Huff, stops the clock at 1:24.
And with Marquette, they're real close to being 5-1 in the conference right now. And we're up 3 with under 30 seconds left at Seton Hall and lost. Had a 16-point lead at Butler, lose. And so to come here into the CenturyLink Center and hang 100 on the Blue Jays, I think the rest of the league is going to look at this film and say, Marquette is a team that's going to be tough to deal with as the Big East slate rolls on.
This is the first time Creighton has allowed 100 points since March 1st of 2008 against Bradley. It was triple overtime. I think you might remember that game.
Senior night, senior year.
Way to play D.
Way to play D. It wasn't my fault, man. You know, we sat in the matchup zone a lot of that. Okay, so it was everybody else's fault but mine.
Under a minute to go, the Golden Eagles came in here. You know, we said to Wojciechowski before the game, good time to come here to Creighton, right? And he said to us, you know what, I just feel bad for the kid. I feel really bad for Maurice Watson Jr. And he was sincere about it. And then he went on and said, you know what, I've watched every minute that they have played this year without Maurice Watson Jr. But we still don't know what to expect. And for us, the way we prepare is by just working on our game. Well, he's going to come in with his team. They put up over 100, and they're going to get a win on the road against the 7th-ranked team in the country.
And sometimes it's nice in the middle of the year in conference play when you're so caught up in preparing for what other teams do to have a moment where you focus 100% on yourselves. And that's what Marquette was able to do the last handful of days. Marquette, this is a big confidence booster for this group.
Reinhardt, who had 17 in the first half. A look at the standings in the conference. Villanova at 7-1. The Blue Jays will fall to 5-2. Marquette will move to 4-3.
I think you got to keep an eye on this Marquette team. I think they're finally settled into rotations, roles. They're tough offensively.
102-94. And a traveling violation against Cheatham with 25.7 seconds. And Wojo, now the jacket comes off. He is furious at his team. Coaching until the end. And a timeout taken by the Blue Jays.
Well, maybe we've thrown dirt on the Blue Jays a little too soon in this thing as they knock down a 3 here and things get real interesting.
Steve Wojciechowski, throughout his career, was always known for his defense, for his intensity. Right now, he has said to us, he's like, I need my team to think about defensive stops. Not getting points offensively, we can score. We need to make stops. And you could see him just working on the sidelines trying to get stops.
Well, this is always tough when you're thinking you're going to get fouled right away. And you run into a teammate and shuffle your feet ever so slightly. And so a turnover for Marquette.
No field goals the last almost 5.5 minutes for Marquette. And if they can get a win here today, they host Villanova. And then they're at St. John's, at DePaul.
Now for Creighton. I imagine Greg McDermott was He's wanting to dial up a look for Marcus Foster. So keep an eye on him. Number 0. He's at the top of the key.
25.7 seconds to go, 102.94. Foster for 3. Cheatham gets it. And Cheatham will be able to dribble this one out. So despite not having a field goal for almost 6 minutes to close out the game, Marquette will take this one 102-94. And Marquette will get its first road win in Big East play this season.
Really impressive afternoon from the Golden Eagles, especially offensively. Great balance across the board. Gotta love what Marquette was able to do this afternoon.
102-94, the final score here in Omaha. For Nick Baugh, I'm Justin Kutcher. Coming up after the break, it's the UFC's Road to the Octagon. Stay tuned. So long from Omaha.